Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivered 98-minute-long inspiring talk with the eloquence that he is known for to the countrymen on 78th Independence Day, while a number of appropriate observations were made by Mr. Modi during the talk. A particular observation that was specifically noted by everyone was with regard to the determination of Mr. Modi to root out corruption in India. At the same time, no one would miss the fact that Mr. Modi made similar promise during the 2014 national election on rooting out corruption when he was elected as the Prime Minister. Again, he made similar promise to root out corruption in his national election campaign in 2019 also, when he was elected as the Prime Minister for the second term. Now, as the third time Prime Minister in the year 2024, Mr. Modi has once again reiterated what he has said earlier with regard to his anti-corruption drive. The very fact that Mr. Modi has to talk on the same subject for over 11 years now as Prime Minister only highlights the fact that he has not been successful in rooting out corruption in India to any significant level or to the level that he aims at. Now, in spite of these conditions, the countrymen continue to have faith in the Prime Minister's resolve to root out corruption. In the present time, when Mr. Modi has once again promised that he would root out corruption in India, people continue to expect that Mr. Modi would achieve this much needed objective. The fact is that people believe that Mr. Modi is genuinely committed to the anti-corruption stance, and people think that if anyone in India would root out corruption, it could only be Mr. Modi. Such strong impression is prevailing mainly due to the fact that Mr. Modi carries out an image as a person with high level of integrity, discipline in personal life of highest order, and has no vested interest, such as patronizing their family members and associates. Now let us look into what it is that Mr. Modi has done so far to root out corruption in India. It is high time to assess as to what Mr. Modi has done to root out corruption in India so far. A dispassionate analysis is called for. Mr. Modi has introduced several measures to promote digitalization in India in a large way that could prevent cash transaction, black money generation and circulation, and money transaction will be done in a transparent way. While digitalization exercise has met with reasonable success and is further getting strengthened with more people getting used to such digital transaction, it appears that it has not been successful in rooting out corruption in India to any significant level so far or to the level that we wanted. Mr. Modi enforced demonetization, introduced several anti-corruption laws such as Benami Act, etc. And these two measures too have not helped in reducing the level of corruption in the country to any significant level. In the last several years, the central enforcement agencies such as CBI, ED, has been carrying out several surprise raids and have unearthed black money and hoarded possessions, and in some cases arrested the culprits also. These measures too appear to be only some isolated steps without having a cascading effect in reducing the extent of corruption in the country. The people are asking why, in spite of such anti-corruption drive by a determined Prime Minister, several corrupt politicians, corrupt businessmen, and black money holders have not been caught and punished suitably so far. It appears that such corrupt persons are going scot-free, giving an impression to the countrymen that they have the last laugh. Now, what is the reason for this anti-corruption drive of Mr. Modi not being totally successful so far as desired by the people? Some discerning observers are of the view that the cumbersome and time-consuming procedures of judiciary and delay in pronouncement of judgments by the judiciary is one major stumbling block for Mr. Modi's anti-corruption drive. There are several cases where Vigilance Department, CBI, ED have completed investigations and filed cases in the courts against the persons investigated for corruption. However, it takes several years and sometimes even a decade for judiciary to pronounce the verdict. There are also cases where the lower courts have awarded punishments in corruption cases, but the convicted persons get stay in the High Court. In cases where the High Court award punishment, the convicted persons get stay in the Supreme Court. With such tactics, several corrupt persons remain unpunished for several years. There are also several cases where the court give bail to the convicted persons, and several such convicted politicians, businessmen are now enjoying bail for several years. There are also judgments which raise eyebrows. For example, an accused in jail now continues to remain as chief minister of a state, and judiciary is not interfering in this case. One glaring instance, amongst several others, is one former chief minister of Bihar who has been punished by judiciary and jailed for indulging in corruption and is on bail for over 7 years now on medical grounds. However, the gentleman is taking part in political activities, traveling and attending dinner and wedding functions, and playing badminton. Judiciary is not interfering despite CBI bringing this to the notice of the court. Perhaps Mr. Modi also thinks the judiciary is the biggest stumbling block for his inability to punish the corrupt persons in India. Mr. Modi had said in his speech on 15th August 2024 that there is need for judiciary reform, which is absolutely true. Now, let us look into this other aspect about the state level of corruption. Here, there is a big issue. While Mr. Modi has, by and large, been successful in stopping corruption in central government administration, which are directly under him, the corruption at the state level is now at a mind-boggling level. Several state-level politicians are known to be corrupt, and presence of such corrupt ministers and politicians result in chain of corruption from the bottom to the top level of state administration. This is spreading to the private sector also. Mr. Modi appears to be helpless in stopping this state-level corruption in India. This is becoming too obvious to be ignored. Now let us look into the fact that some corrupt politicians win elections. This is a frustrating experience for anti-corruption forces that the most corrupt politician find it possible to win elections. There are several politicians who are known to be corrupt and facing criminal proceedings in the courts, but they win elections and continue to remain in power as minister or as MLA or as MP, member of parliament. While they may use money power and muscle power to some extent to win election, the ground reality is that people vote for them unmindful of their corrupt dealings and corrupt behavior and nepotism that they have indulged in. What does it signify? Does it mean that the society by and large has become corruption tolerant? This question is of very high concern. And if this is true, then the battle for the future is going to be very hard. Now, what is the way out of this situation? What is needed right now is a powerful hate campaign against corruption, which is the need of the day. Mahatma Gandhi carried out a sustained campaign for truth and probity in public and private life, that made a positive impact in his lifetime on the entire country. However, during the last 77 years after independence, this campaign for truth appeared to have lost its momentum totally. Now, cross-section of Indians seem to have reconciled themselves to corruption in India, which has become rampant, deep-rooted, and including in day-to-day functions. Nothing can be done by anyone today without paying a bribe money. In case somebody gets it done, it's an exception and not a rule. Obviously, the campaign against corruption has been fought among the minds and hearts of people of India so that there is a total campaign, total resistance to the corrupt deeds. Now, the ball is clearly in the court of the Prime Minister Modi to give anti-corruption lead to the country, just as Mr. Modi has done successfully by spreading yoga culture, Free India campaign, and so on. It goes without saying that the lead that Mr. Modi has to give to build anti-corruption momentum in India must be much more stronger and should reach the nook and corner of India that would strengthen the anti-corruption forces of the country and provide confidence to those who want to have a corruption-free in India and enable them to fight for the cause of anti-corruption. In short, Prime Minister should shame the corrupt people as anti-nationals and anti-socials in a forthright manner at every opportunity and every speech that he delivers. The question is, or rather the million-dollar question is, whether Mr. Modi would rise up to the expectations of the people and lead an anti-corruption drive. Thank you very much. I request all listeners to kindly forward this link to their friends and associates to spread the message. Thank you once again.